Welcome to Align and Elevate. Love who you are. A show where I can be me and you can be you. Let's get started. Hello, welcome to this episode of Align and Elevate. Love who you are. I'm Melanie, and today we are going to have a little chat with Elizabeth Plancon. And she's going to tell us all about how you can go within and heal yourself. So I am going to turn it over to her and let her explain who she is and what she does.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, Melanie. I'm Elizabeth, and as you said, and I'm an intuitive soulpreneur, mentor, soul purpose activator, and energy healer. And I really have found my purpose and my mission in this world of helping others step into their true essence, their true power, and activating their purpose, helping them live their most fulfilled life while healing from the inside out, becoming, this version of themselves, their true version, their higher version, right? And when I say higher version, I don't mean it like good or bad, like worse or not good, but essentially stepping into this version of themselves that they're always meant to be.
Yeah, because over our lifetimes we've covered up who we truly are in some way or some fashion, right?
Yeah, we forget. We forget of our true essence, our true divinity, and we kind of just follow what we've been told. I feel a majority of people follow what they've been told by, their family, their parents, society of like who you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do in this world.
Yeah, it's actually I've been doing some of that uncovering myself over the last, I don't know, probably 10 years. More hardcore, I guess you'd say, in the last 5.
Yeah.
And I am totally not the person I was even a month ago probably. It's a continual process of uncovering, and then you become someone new every single day, and honestly, it's pretty exciting and not so dull because we tend to get in ruts in our life where we just go along and stay the same. So growing and finding new ways about yourself is, to me, pretty exciting.
Yeah, and I resonate with that so much because myself included, I am not the same person I was 5 years ago. And the same, I kind of was waking up to all of this, probably a decade ago, even maybe even longer, and then really dove in 2020. And I, like you said, I'm completely a different person. And even from last year, the year before, I've evolved and grown and expanded. And really, that's kind of what we're meant to do here is to grow and evolve and expand, because if you're not growing, then you're staying the same and it's almost like disintegrating, which essentially is, not to be more morbid, but like dying, right? And so when we continue to grow and we continue to expand and evolve, then we are unveiling new levels of our consciousness, of our inner self, our inner truth over and over again.
I see that with some of my clients. Some age and some don't. Have you noticed that? I
Yeah.
feel like some people that have a little bit of a different zest for life, so they walk in and say they're 80, and I'm like, really? You look like you're about 60. They look 20 years younger because they have continued that growth throughout their life.
Right, right. They continue to just experience life to the fullest, right? And enjoy life and find the happiness and joy. And we can do that by going inward and really learning how we can self-regulate, how we can, learn emotional intelligence where we don't have to allow outside factors to affect our inner being and our inner peace.
That, to me, that is just, I don't know, joy in a bottle. If you can get to that place.
For sure.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how you work with someone.
So typically, people come to me when they are feeling lost or when they're feeling like they are meant for more in this life. They want more fulfillment in their life, or they feel like they have these blocks that are stopping them from achieving their goals, their dreams, their purpose, right? So I kind of help them become activated in their next level, whatever that means to them, whether it be finding their soul purpose or their next soul purpose. Because I truly believe that not everyone is meant to do the same thing for their entire lives, but there's different levels that you can go to. And when you're ready for your next thing that you're here to do in this world, it will kind of, you'll get that calling, you'll get that feeling, that nudge. So I help people kind of become activated in that and it to be shown to them, bringing out their soul gifts, activating their intuition, and all those things. And then, of course, helping them heal those limiting patterns, those limiting beliefs, those maybe it's even trauma that they've been through. So we do a combination of work of empowering, but also releasing and letting go of what no longer serves us.
That to me is such a needed gift that you have to work with people on that level, because I don't know about you, but there are different ways to do what you're doing. And in my opinion, you're kind of going straight to the top with them. You're
Yeah.
really, really peeling back the layers that they have adopted over their lifetime. So that's amazing work that you're doing.
I think it's important. Yeah. And thank you so much. I think it's important to note too that like people think that it's like a destination, right, of this work. And of course, you just want to, sometimes your human mind just wants to be done, right? Like, I just want to know the thing. I just want to be done healing. Like, I don't want to do this anymore, right? But there's just layers that have to get peeled back sometimes. And if we were to give you everything at once, right? Your human body probably wouldn't be able to handle it, right?
Right.
You'd have like a mental breakdown or like just burn out from exhaustion. And B, like, then what would be the point of life? You would just be the same place you were, just existing, right? And
Right.
so taking this journey and letting things unfold over time, step by step, is how we evolve and grow. And that is the point of life, and just enjoying the present moment, being in the present moment and letting the journey unfold and enjoying that rather than being so fixated on, I want these goals, I want this future, I want this life. And then you're missing all of the beautifulness that's going around you right now.
I have to say, I'm probably one of those people. I like things yesterday.
Yeah.
And so I
Right.
get it. And you're right. It is a journey. And I do
It's a
feel
life lesson to learn to that. I've been learning it. Patience, right?
major patience. I
Yeah.
have struggled with that one for sure. I do believe we would blow our circuits literally if we did this really, really fast. Yeah, your physical system couldn't take it. We
You
would,
wouldn't be able to hold on to it
yeah.
because you don't have the capacity in your body and your nervous system to hold on to it. Like, and that's why you see, just for example, when people win large sums of money, right? Like, that they're not used to having, they typically burn through it, right? And
Right.
lose it or like release it right away because it doesn't feel safe in their body to hold on to it
Right.
because they haven't been able to expand their capacity. So it's the same thing for anything when we're bringing new things into our lives.
Yeah, I call that embodiment. And
Yeah,
when I'm working with clients, it's one thing to learn something and know something and even understand something, but when you embody it, that's a whole different thing because then you're practicing it. You're keeping it in your field at all times.
correct. Yeah, that's how you make the lasting change, like you said, is embodying it, the embodiment work of actually practicing what you
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah, and some of the things you're talking about, it takes time to kind of hold on to that. It's not
Yeah,
an instantaneous thing. I've noticed with a lot of things. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Wow.
yeah.
Is there a, I don't want to say theme, but as you work with people more on a global scale, do you notice a certain thing that comes up more often with people that we could maybe work with today?
As far as that's a good question. I was thinking of when you or asking the question initially was like, the people that come into my world, into my environment are usually people that want to help the world and, are not sure how. So this
Mm,
is good. This is bringing some ideas to mind as I'm talking because, we think we're just one person and our work is not going to make a big enough impact to make a difference. So then we don't even start to begin with because we feel like we can't do anything, right?
mhm.
But some of you may not like understand this or not be aware of this, but I truly believe that we are all connected, and so our energies are connected, and so when we come together and we can spread our energy, we can expand our energy to other people, it is felt around the world. And the more of us, one individual, light workers, change makers, helpers, service workers, whatever you want to call yourself, that is helping to make this world a better place. I know it sounds cliche, but like, that's in layman's term, but like essentially lifting the vibration of the world. We're trying to make it a better place by helping people find their peace, find their joy, find happiness in the day, right? And we do this through love, by spreading love. And everything comes from love first, right? When you're a service worker, a light worker, a healer, or whatever it is, if you're helping in even the grocery store, right? You're helping someone make their day, get their food so they can be happy, right? So it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be this big, profound thing, but doing it from a place of really trying to help and, spread love. So what you could do on a daily basis, if you're not someone that does any type of work like that, you can even visualize or feel yourself sending love to someone someone that might need it, that might be struggling right now, or a place in the world that is struggling right now, or to the world in general.
Mm,
And I literally will visualize, for me, I'm a very visual person. Some
mhm.
people may feel it within them,
Yeah.
but I visualize this big, beautiful golden energy like in my heart center, where right in the middle of my chest, and I imagine it basically expanding beyond me
Yeah.
and like almost like a stream, right? Like a cord going to whatever intention I'm setting for that day, for that moment, right? Where I'm sending my love. And it will be felt. It will make a difference.
Yeah.
And so you can do that every day. And like I said, you can do it to anyone that you feel is struggling, whether you know them or not. The world in general, you can imagine your heart sending out this golden light, beautiful energy encompassing the whole world. And if the more and more of us that do that, is going to help raise the vibration of the world.
Yeah, that is true. It's so funny. Like a story popped in my head when you said that back in probably 2020, when COVID was such a big deal. There was a post on Facebook of somebody asking for prayers for their brother. They were in the hospital, whatever. I cannot tell you how. I don't even know this person, but there was like this instant connection that I felt with this person, even though I had never met them in physical form. And I was like, I just sent him love. And I mean, I have no idea if he received it or whatever. The point is, when you send out that love, it's out in the field. And if that
Mm,
person is needing some love at the time, it'll just be received if they're open to receive it. And
right.
I would say that is one thing we have covered up in our lives is opening to receive.
Right. For sure, 100%. But there are many people without intentionally being like, oh, I'm open to receiving love from Melanie, right?
Mhm.
They're opening themselves to receive love by asking God for help,
Yeah.
right? Asking the universe for help. So when they're asked, like, please just help me, help us through this, like,
Right.
then that itself is allowing the miracles to come in, right? The love, the energy to come in. So
Yeah.
just trust that the people that are meant to receive it will receive it.
Right. I do find that, and this was true of me, it was more of I can do this on my own. I'm
Hmm.
strong. I'm going to just persevere and push through, and you know what I mean? Like it was more of a pushing instead of a step back, open and allowing.
Right,
Mhm.
right. And I would just say with that, then that's their lesson that they're here to learn, right? As an individual, until they're ready to allow help in, or something comes in their environment where they realize that they can ask for help and it
Right.
will be so much easier. But at that moment in time, you just kind of have to allow people to experience what they desire to experience. And even if they don't realize, like maybe that's like not what they actually want, but their soul is saying this is what we're here to experience right now, and it's just not ready.
Yeah.
So I mean, in for those people that are like, okay, well, it's harder to believe those things you can't see, or with the faith and the belief, like this has actually been proven, like this act of sending love. And there was a study done in the 1990s,
Yeah.
in Washington D.C., where in the summertime when the crime is higher, a group of, I don't remember how many people it was, it might have been like 1,000 or people, came together every day
Yeah.
and just sat and set love to the city of Washington D.C. for 30 minutes to an hour every single day for 90 days, I think it was. And they noticed that crime dropped by 25% over the summer, when usually it usually escalates. And,
Yeah.
because the police chief was like, oh, that's never going to work. It's never going to happen. Right. And it did. It worked. So it's like, this is not just woo woo, like faith,
No.
whatever. It's science. Like, it's actually proven that it can work.
Yeah, I agree. I think I've heard of that study before. That's amazing work. People can change the weather with their thoughts. I mean, they've had where you see the pictures where everything is decimated and there's one house still standing there.
Yeah.
Maybe they did that with their thoughts of, you know,
Of belief that they were going to be okay, asking for the
mhm,
health to be protected, whatever it was,
not
right?
being in fear,
Yeah,
being in that
fear
moment.
is huge, right? With belief. And fear is an emotion that we've created that we can say is, not a real, like real to our soul, right? Because our
Right.
soul doesn't know fear. It's our ego that's created fear.
Yeah. Do you know the mnemonic about fear? Future events appearing real.
No, no, I would love to hear it.
That's
Oh,
that
is that it?
one, or yeah, or there's another one. That's the one I remember right now. But future events appearing real, meaning we conjure it up as a possibility of something that happens. You don't
Yeah.
know what's going to happen. We can't
I
predict the
always,
future.
yeah, I always say to my clients, worrying is like praying for something you don't want.
Hmm.
It's a waste of energy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Um, in some ways, do you feel like that's been programmed into us, the fear aspect that we have to overcome as we go on this journey?
Yeah, I think over the years, centuries, decades, whatever you want to call it, like fear has been, put into us from society
Hmm.
for basically obtaining power, right? Because, people that are in fear will not take a stand, right? They won't try to change things, and they will just do anything that people tell them to do because they don't know what to do, because they're in living in fear.
Mm.
Right. So I do believe it's something that society has ingrained in us, and then it becomes like almost generational, right? Like, and we've just listened to all the fears, all the worries, all the bad stuff that happens out in the world, and we start going down this spiral of fear of all the other bad things that could possibly happen. And
Yeah,
we've kind of gotten away from thinking about all the beautiful things that could happen in our lives,
yeah,
and thinking about all the positive things that we do have in our lives already. It's just been so backwards. And so, like, my mission, part of that is to help people realize that they don't have to live in fear, and that we create our own experience, and perspective is everything, right?
yeah,
So what you may think is something that's bad, I may not think is bad at all, because I may see that maybe there's a bigger purpose for that happening.
yeah,
And then if this didn't happen, then maybe down the road XYZ wouldn't have happened, which is something better, right? And
right.
I truly believe that God will remove the things from your environment, your life, that are not meant for you, that are no longer serving you, because if
Yeah,
you don't remove them yourself, then God will remove them for you. So when something goes away, it's not always a bad thing.
No, that's kind of like if a job, you get fired from a job or something, that's your opportunity to say, wait, did I really love that job anyway? Or maybe there's something better out there for me, you know? Instead, some people will go and just be the whole pitiful me, I got fired, you know, what did I do wrong? All the things instead of thinking, well, maybe it was truly a gift.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Perspective is everything for sure in any situation. Where can you find the beauty or the lesson in any situation?
The one time that I was fired, let go out of a contract position, that was like a kick in the butt for me to say, you know what? I'm going to own my own business and nobody can ever fire me again.
There you go.
So yeah,
Exactly.
it was
Yeah.
like, nope. And I mean, within the next year, I think within that small frame of time, I figured a way to to create my own business.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Exactly. You would have never done that most likely if you weren't let go, or it might have been taken a long longer for that to happen, for you to even realize like this is what I'm meant to do if you
Right.
weren't let go from that job.
Yeah. So just using that as an example for people, things happen.
Hmm.
Some of it can seem traumatic, but then look at the bigger picture and say, well, okay, how, what's the gift in this? Not always looking at the negative of it. What's the
Right.
gift that's being given in this? I tell people that all the time, even with car wrecks.
Hmm.
You know, they come in because I'm a massage person and I help them get over those aches and pains. But I say, what is changed in your life because of that wreck?
Hmm.
You know, what part of your trajectory needed to be changed?
Yeah, and when for me, just an example or like what's coming through is like you need to slow down, right? A
Mhm.
lot of people don't take any time to be in slowness or self-care or just being present. And then, sometimes like we'll get sick, right? Because we were not resting.
Yeah,
So your body will force you to rest because you weren't resting, right? Or,
definitely.
like a breakup, right? How often you hear stories how you've gone through a breakup or experienced that and it's devastating, but then you find someone after that's like even 10 times better than you could even imagine, right? And of course there are, the situations of loss that people, it's really difficult for them to find any sort of positiveness in any sort of loss of a loved one, right?
Right.
But for me, what gets me through that is just knowing that and believing that a soul comes here, to help others learn different lessons and experience different things in lives. And we may not understand it right now, but that soul has felt like it served its purpose in
Yeah.
this lifetime and was ready to move on to their next.
Yeah.
And they're not gone, right? They're not suffering, right? Or they don't feel that pain or anything anymore. It was just what they chose to experience in this lifetime. And now they've done that. And so they are completed and ready to go experience something new.
Yes, I have adopted the same belief now. I didn't before. Obviously, you know, when your grandparents die, things like that, you're super sad and you don't understand why. And oh my gosh, they're gone and all those things. And then, you know, I realized their time is done. They've done what they wanted to do on a soul level in this experience, and it's time to leave. It was a beautiful experience with my father in law. One day we knew, you know, his body was not doing well, and he turned and looked at me and said, I think it's time to go. And I said, Bon voyage, you know,
Oh,
have
I love
fun,
that.
you know. It's like, and giving people permission to do that if they are suffering sometimes is huge,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. For
You're
sure.
not,
100%.
yeah,
And not everyone's going to have that realization that they're ready to go because sometimes it's just sudden, right? It's
right.
sudden or unexpected, but that again is all for, a reason or just completion. Or
Yeah.
I think about my grandmother who was 96 and she did not want to leave. She was like, I don't want to go. I'm gonna miss you all. Like,
Right.
I love you all. I love being here. And she was not happy about her body just not cooperating, right?
Right.
Of course, now I feel like she knows that she's at peace and everything, but that was difficult for her human mind and ego to accept and move on. But, that must have been just the lesson that she needed to learn.
Yeah. But did you give her encouragement of letting
Oh,
go?
yeah, we did we were like, I understand, it's okay. It's not your fault. Cause
Right.
she stopped eating, she just said, I'm just not
Um,
hungry. And I was like, well, your body is just not cooperating. And eventually, my sister asked her older sister, who had passed away some years before her, to
mhm.
basically come and help.
Oh,
Like,
that's awesome.
we called her auntie and we're like, Aunt, she said, Auntie, can you please come and help her like
Oh,
transition? Because she's just not letting go, she just
yeah.
wasn't. And finally one day it was just like, okay, she resisted for so long, and then all of a sudden everyone started coming. Like, she saw my father had passed away, her son, before her, so he
Uh-huh.
was there.
Oh,
Some of her old friends were there that she saw, and then my great aunt was there finally, and then she passed away when my great aunt came. So
that's a
that was
beautiful experience to have all of those come and help you with that transition.
yeah,
That is how
yeah.
I look at it. It's not a death. It's not final. It's a transition.
Yeah, yeah, and you're not alone, right? Like, she had all these people that loved her come to kind of help her let
Hmm.
go and feel safe,
Yeah.
right? She was very fearful of dying or being sick and everything like that. So I think it was the fear, like we talked about before, that was
Yeah.
stopping her.
Yeah.
And I feel like seeing, her loved ones made her feel safe enough to let go.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. So this work can impact people in so many different ways. Just at your perception on how to deal with those life experiences, because that's a pretty stressful experience for most people, is watching someone you love die or suffer, and or themselves, even if they've got chronic issues. Maybe letting go of that fear can even heal you to where you get rid of those chronic issues.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I completely believe in your ability to heal your body from within, through energetic practices and different ways, and just intuition, right? Listening to your intuition and what your body is asking for to help you get through, that healing. And, I have autoimmune stuff and chronic stuff that I'm dealing with and have been for quite some time, and listening to my body and what it needs and what it doesn't need and what I should do. And I saw the rheumatologist, and I was taking these huge pills and it wasn't doing anything. And I finally asked Spirit, I was like, can you just show me a sign if I should continue on with these meds, or I should just try to go more now of the more holistic way?
Mm-hmm.
And like that morning, I asked that in my meditation, go to the morning to get my medicine out of the cabinet, and this pill bottle that's like this tall is knocked over. Like, it's on its side. There's no reason that should have happened. Do you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like, by itself. So I was like, okay, thank you. Like, and then that was
I
it,
don't need it.
Didn't need it. It wasn't doing any difference. So besides just putting, chemicals in my body.
Right. So that to me is just you being in tune with yourself and your own intuition and asking within, is
Yeah.
this medication good for me? And do
Right.
you know how many people don't do that? The doctor
Oh,
tells them take 15 medications and they just do. And that to me is a disempowerment. You're giving your power to that other person. I didn't say don't go to the doctor. I didn't say don't
100%.
take the medicine. I said listen and ask.
Right.
I look at doctors as consultants. I am consulting you because I have XYZ. What is your opinion? What do you see about that? They might say take a medication. They might say, reduce this type of eating, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I would take that information for me and go back home and sit quietly and ask, is this good for me? Or maybe you try and you take the medication for a couple of days and you feel like crap.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe that's your body rejecting it or saying no, I don't want it. But that intuition to me is how we need to move forward more, is listening from that intuition part of us
Yeah.
than the programmed part of us.
100% I agree, right? And we could go down this whole rabbit hole, right? Of, government and history and insurance companies and all the medical, pharma, whatever. But like
Education, yeah,
at the end of the day, like you do have the ability and the power to heal yourself and heal your body and be able to do that. Yes, go to the doctor and get those opinions, and you, like you said, use that intuition to decide what is best for you.
right.
And some people have, like, I mean, I take medicine. My daughters take ADHD medicine. So by far, I'm not against obviously medicine. We use it all the time. I
Right.
take supplements too. But there are other times where I'm like, no, this is not the way I want to do this. This is not the way
Mhm.
to go for me, and I try and experiment with different things and get new opinions all the time. But it is really, I think, going within. And there's so many different now healing modalities out there,
Mhm.
holistic healing modalities, right? Like I know you're an energy healer, and I'm an energy healer, and I use somatic practices. And now I'm introducing Kundalini yoga into my work,
Mhm.
and that's very healing as well for so many things, like emotional and physical and mental as well.
Right.
That, like, there's just so many different options out there if you feel like the traditional way, Western way, is not serving you any longer.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly, that it's time to think outside the box. I feel like we've been in a little box for a long eons of time even. And it's
Yeah.
time to open up and say, how can we do it differently? How can we do it with more love,
Mm.
more, more compassion toward others?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely compassion towards others is going to be huge in
Yeah.
helping this world, helping yourself, and just letting go of judgment, right? That's a big thing. And,
It's huge.
through my work with working with clients, it's not just usually like we're working on your soul purpose and your business and that's it. Like it's usually like a whole life kind of thing. It's almost like spiritual mentoring as well as like life mentoring and finding your purpose, mentoring kind of thing. But really, it's up leveling on all levels of your life
Yeah.
on where can you release judgment, not only for others, but for yourself as well, and
Mhm.
come from this place of more compassion and love for everyone and everything.
Well, to me, that shows that you're treating the whole person. We're not separate. Our body is not separate from our mind. Uh,
Mm,
we're that's probably one of my biggest beefs with medical society today is we piecemeal it. Go see the cardiologist for your heart. Well, you're having headaches. Maybe there's a connection between the two.
right,
Whatever it
right.
is treating that whole being, mind,
Hmm.
body, and spirit. That's
For sure. I love
that's
that.
to me huge.
Yeah, I love that so much. And exactly, not just the body, but what else is going on emotionally. Because, stress is a huge killer, essentially, right?
Mhm.
It
Yeah,
literally kills people and it can bring on different ailments. And just as like if you don't deal with your grief, your sadness, your anger, whatever it is, in sort of a negative emotion, and if you just store that down in your body, you shove it down,
yeah,
it's just going to manifest in a different way down the road in a physical way,
yeah,
how like inflammation or whatever, cancer and all the things, right? It will
right,
manifest if you don't deal with it. So the point is becoming aware of those emotions when they come up for you and not put judgment to them, right? And allow yourself to feel those emotions, the grief, the sadness, because it's part of the human experience. And it doesn't mean may not feel good, but where can you find the joy in allowing yourself to feel that? Because then now you know what happiness truly feels like. And what you do is you release that emotion with love when you're ready to, instead of just shoving it down, being like, I don't want to feel this, I don't want to feel this. And I know this firsthand. Like when my father passed away, I didn't allow myself to really feel that grief, right?
oh,
I was
yeah,
like, I'm fine. I'm okay. It's,
hmm,
he's in a better place. He's happier now. He's out of pain. We're all good. Like, and what did it manifest into? Like chronic inflammation. Like, so,
Right. Yeah.
it's really just allowing yourself and recognizing that it's okay to feel.
So recently, some with some other work that I do with other friends that are in this holistic business, um, we've been talking about dead frequencies and live frequencies. And I think those emotions that we stuffed, those
Mm,
beliefs we took on, are kind of dead frequencies. They are limiting frequencies,
mm,
limiting beliefs. And so that's that density that we feel in our bodies when I work on people's bodies. You can feel they're heavy in their legs, they're just dense. And I tell people it's time to clean out the trash can. It's like,
yeah.
get that stuff out of there, and you will feel so much lighter in your body. When you do
Mm,
that, you don't feel heavy and sluggish, and I don't, tired and all of those things.
mm.
Just releasing those things on the energetic level, emotional level can help so much on your physical level, even.
100%. Definitely. I love that analogy. I never thought of it that way, so that's great.
Yeah, so it's like time to move that stuff out of there and try living in a different way.
Well, also, it's creating space for newness to come in, right?
Hmm.
Because we have to release, things out of our capacity for new things to be able to come in.
Right.
And new things will come in. So I think it's important to recognize when you are releasing those limiting beliefs or limiting habits or limiting emotions, how do you want to feel instead? How do you want to behave instead? What do you want to believe instead? And reprogramming your mind with those empowering beliefs and patterns in actions, right? So
Yeah.
that like you can change. That's how you change. And you change who you are and how you act. But we have to do that reprogramming. So thinking about how would I love to feel? Would you love to feel energized and light and motivated and happy and peaceful and focus on that when you're releasing?
No, that sounds amazing to me. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get good feels all over. Do you get those? So you said you're a very visual person. I feel things in my body. And when
Mm.
I get to that state where things are light and released and all of that, I get this almost cool feeling and tingly.
Tingles. I get tingles a lot.
Yeah. And that is just, to me, that's your body resonating,
Mm. Yeah.
with that
You're feeling
feeling.
the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of us are, a lot of people are just kind of numbed out to that, even. They don't even
Yeah.
know what that feels like.
It takes practice, I feel like, in quieting your mind and taking the time to actually allow yourself to feel it. So, like being in meditation, right? And for me, it just was a practice. It took time. And when I first started off, I was doing tons of different breath work before I would go into meditation to quiet my mind. I'll just give you simple examples you can do where I was breathing in for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, releasing for 4 counts. And I would do that 4 times to quiet my mind. And then I would do alternate nostril breath work, which is basically balancing your nervous system and kind of opening up and activating both sides of your brain. And so
Mm,
you literally will, breathe in on one nostril, release on the other, and then you'll switch. So you're activating both sides. And
nice.
for me, that really allowed me to open up and feel the energy. And then I would even play with crystals. Like I used to lay on my couch, yeah, and everyone's different with like what their favorite was. And for some reason, for me, even
Yeah.
though it's a man-made crystal, opalite was like what I used, and I would place it on my third eye, and I would just lay there, and that's when I started to be able to feel the tingles
Oh,
through
nice.
my body because I felt like maybe it was just a conduit, right? Like it was a conduit for it to receive the energy, and it was on my third eye going through, right?
Oh, how
So you whatever it is, you can put it on your third eye, hold it in your left hand. Your left hand is for receiving energy of crystals,
yeah.
and just sit and allow to see if you can feel those tingles or an energy burst or surge or whatever it is.
Yeah. I've been playing with crystals for quite a while now. And people always say, well, which one should I get or whatever. That's where you use your intuition. You will be drawn to a crystal.
Yep.
Someone will mention the crystal and you're like, that sounds really interesting. Maybe I'll go find one of those, on your next trip. Pop into a store. I
Yeah.
love to collect crystals from different places. Yeah,
Too.
this one is a Lemurian seed crystal that I picked up at Mount Shasta.
Oh, that's amazing. You picked it up right from the source?
Yeah, I did.
So
And
jealous.
then what was cool is this one called to me. This is also a Lemurian seed crystal. It also has some epidote in it. And this one was in North Carolina.
Wow, that's
It's like,
amazing.
yeah, just like they want to be together and go pick it up, and wasn't particularly looking for anything, just
Yeah.
popped in and stop and see what calls to you. So,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You go in a store, like see what gets your eye, and the right crystal will find you. And I've been given gifts for crystals like a lot. My kids give them
yeah.
to me, and I just want to tell this one story. So I had a piece of pyrite and some dirt. I had put it in, and that's where it was. So I wanted a new pyrite for my birthday, and my sister was going to take me crystal shopping. So that's what I was going to pick out.
Uh-huh.
Didn't mention it to my daughter, nothing, like, right? And so she goes to the crystal store to get me a crystal for my birthday, and she comes home with this pyramid shaped pyrite crystal that I have on my desk. It's right here. And it's exactly what I wanted. I wanted a pyramid pyrite crystal that I could like place in my hand. And, with pyramids, they're very
Energy.
powerful with the point and everything. And
Hmm.
I couldn't believe it when I opened it. I was like, this kid, like, where, you know what I mean? The intuition that can happen at such a young age. She knew exactly, like, this is the one that my mom would love. And I was like, oh
Hmm.
my God. Like,
See,
anyway, it was just a fun story. I just had to share.
so my daughter and I call it telepathic communication. Like I will literally practice with her and say something in my mind and see later, hey, did you receive that message or something? And see,
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun.
Oh yeah. Playing with your intuition is so fun. I encourage you to play with it when you can. And
Yeah.
even if you're new to this, or you can get a deck of oracle cards. Those are so fun to play with, and
Yep.
get a message for the day. And then you
Right.
can practice by even just looking at the card and tuning in and trying to see if you can get messages for what it means to you before looking into the guidebook of
Yeah.
what that message means. I love doing both,
Hmm.
where I'm channeling and kind of channel what I feel like the message is for the card. But then
Right.
I also use the guidebook because I do feel like the guidebook was channeled as well. So, like, both of them are very powerful messages.
Yeah. And sometimes reading that will then open up another door to what you need to receive individually. To me,
Sure, I love that.
that
Yeah.
works as a little way to spark your intuition into letting
Hmm.
you know that other message. So yeah, those are really cool. Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that with a group one time where we did oracle card reading for each other.
Hmm.
It was powerful, and there were people that were not real practiced. It was,
Yeah.
I don't do that all the time. I pull them occasionally for myself, but that was I mean, that would be like a fun party to get together,
Yeah.
and, do that kind of stuff. To me,
It's
that's
just fun.
really
It's just
cool.
having fun with it, right? Bringing it
Yeah.
back to joy.
Hmm. Being kids again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Hmm. Well, this has been such a fun talk. I don't want to take up your entire day. I do want people to be able to reach out to you if they want to connect with you and y'all could work together. So let everybody know how that happens.
Yeah, so you can find me pretty much on Facebook, Instagram, my website. It's all under my name, Elizabeth Plancon, and my website's elizabethplancon.com. I'm sure you'll put the links in the notes later, but pretty much anywhere on social you can find me under that way, and you can email me or send me a DM on those platforms. I'm on TikTok as well. Under that, those are the best ways to get a hold of me.
Awesome. Do you have anything you're working on right now? Any retreats or anything like that?
Yeah, so actually next week I am doing a 3-day masterclass for finding your soul purpose, or if you're someone that already knows your soul purpose, kind of activating you to that next level. It's called Awaken Your Greatness, Your Path to Purpose and Prosperity and Sacred Abundance. So it's really, being able to find that purpose in your life and bringing in that sacred abundance in your life at the same time. And of course, on my website, there are opportunities to get different free resources that I have. I
Okay.
have a free light language soul purpose activation. I have a free manifestation bundle that kind of teaches you about manifestation, like a checklist and an activation for that as well. So definitely check those out.
Okay.
If you follow me, I'm always doing new things, that I'm working on and ways to work with me. And I do single sessions as well for
Nice.
healings, for readings, and then also longer containers for those that want that deeper work.
Those are those are great offers, all of them. I'm excited for you to bring all that out into the world. That's really nice.
Very good. Thank you so much for having me. I so enjoyed our conversation
Me
today.
too. And I'm sure we'll connect again at some point because I've had a lot of fun getting to know you and the stuff that you do.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we will say goodbye for now. And thank everybody for listening. And please contact her if you want to get a session or maybe do our masterclass. All right. We'll see you later.
Bye bye.
Bye.